Hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Shattered Time Rewind. Previously, I don't know why I said it that way. Previously, MC actually saw how Natsuki died, and it triggers some major PTSD for him. And then, well, Jorichiro definitely didn't make things any easier for him. And eventually, he, considering felt like he was in over his head, he ended up getting help from Mio and Yuri. And now here we are, back in front of Natsuki's house, so here we go. I wake up to find myself on the ground. The cold, hard ground. Same ground, same house, same mailbox with a Siren-Chief family name on it. Same everything. I sit up and feel something in my pocket. It's the lock and key. Well then, looks like all that witchcraft stuff regarding these special metal items held true. I never should have doubted you, Yuri. That's right, you shouldn't. I don't waste much time as I get up and make my way inside. I have some idea of what I'm up against here. I know Natsuki's dad is the killer, but what am I supposed to do, though? Beating up that loser Jorichiro is one thing, but this guy has a gun on him. Yeah, he kind of beat up Jorichiro because he was, like, trashing Kodanoa in front of him, and yeah, it became a thing. Am I really going to kill the guy? Damn it, I don't even know anymore. Maybe there's some other way. There has to be. I go through the house quietly, making note of some of the odds and ends I find. Something a little weird I notice is the cordless phone in the kitchen. Conveniently, there's an address book right next to it. And again, imagination. Who even uses these things anymore? Yeah, I honestly don't know too many people who really do. Like, in fact, barely any of my friends even have like home phones. It's almost like all through cell phones now. So like, what's the point? I guess this guy's never heard of a cell phone before. Yep, because I'm telling you, I remember how, yeah, like my grandma had one, my mom and I had one for a while, but then like, yeah, at some point it's like, why do we even need this? We have our cell phones that we take everywhere with us. Looking at the outdated phone, I notice what seems to be a small business card right under the address book. I take it in my hand. I remember the name of this company as being a law firm that went under a few years back. Sheesh, no wonder he's so bitter and drunk all the time. I take one and study the name. Kaido Sirenchi. So, I've got a name to place for that mug of his. That's not going to help me much, though. Not unless I can get him arrested. For doing absolutely nothing, because that makes total sense. Yeah, no. I absentmindedly pocket the card and keep on moving. I find myself in the living room next, where I see another picture of the seemingly happy family on the wall. I then find another picture, but this time it's just Natsuki's mother alone. There's a small metal plate on the frame with a black ribbon adorning the frame. Adorning it? Okay, well. Yeah, probably with a black ribbon adorning it. Kaede Sirenchi, 1978 through 2016. That's right. Natsuki's mom apparently died. Yeah, so we kind of had a little bit more into this. Because, I mean, earlier Kaido said that the mom left, which That's half right. So basically, we had this whole thing where, like, they kind of got in a heated argument, and Kaede basically just, like, she wasn't going to permanently leave, but she did just leave the house because she was just, like, so frustrated, and... well, you know what happens when you do things when you're frustrated, especially when it comes to driving, and... yeah. Of course, outside of the fact that it would have added on to the mod, we almost weren't sure if, like where exactly to put it, and if it was okay, like, where it would be okay, if at all, so... yeah, unfortunately, so that little detail was kind of left on the cutting room floor. Kind of wish I was able to put it in, but oh well. Having divorced parents is one thing, but this is the death of a parent we're talking about. Well, I wouldn't personally be too sad about never seeing my old man again. The thought of losing my mom would break me. Mom is all I have left now. Without her, I had no reason to... no. If her mom was anything like my mom, then I might have an idea of how this loss might have affected Natsuki. I shake my head and make my way through the rest of the house. As I'm quietly sneaking over to Natsuki's room, one of the doors next to me creaks open. Fuck my life. My blood turns to ice as a man in a wrinkled business shirt steps into view. He seems very groggy at first until our eyes lock. It's him. I only caught a brief glance at him before, but there's no doubt in my mind. Who the devil are you? What are you doing in my house? I was just looking for the bathroom. Why did I even say that? As if saying anything else would make a difference at this point. His expression goes from dazed to angry almost immediately as I see him reaching for something. Why didn't I grab at least a knife or something? He's probably getting that gun of his. Whatever, I'm gonna book it. I look back for a split second, but I don't see the gun in his hand, thankfully. I try to get away, but the psycho lunges at me with a bat in his hands, roaring with anger as he aggressively charges at me. Get back over here! There's a fire in his eyes as he tries to bludgeon me with the bat. I'm able to hold him off when I grab onto the bat before he can get me. I push back, holding on to the bat as hard as I can, knocking him against the wall. I take a hold of it, trying to keep my eyes on him at all times. Oh well. We're both standing still, waiting to see which of us will make a move first. I'm not going to let you kill your daughter, you sick, twisted fuck! I don't know what you're talking about. How do you even know I have a daughter? Are you some kind of stalker? Oh, I see now. Well, you're not laying a hand on her. Before I can say anything, he grabs onto a discarded beer bottle. He breaks it against the corner of the wall and slowly approaches. His eyes locked onto me the entire time. As I'm looking at him, I swear I can see something behind him. Or someone. Like a shadow looming right behind him with burning red eyes and horns like a stag. I've already had a shit day at work. At least now I have something to take it out on. Oh yeah? Bring it on, you crazy old bat! He takes a few jabs at me with the broken beer bottle, but I'm able to dodge. I managed to land a clean hit on his jaw, sending him reeling. Didn't think he had a glass jaw. As I move over to him to knock him out, he takes the moment to strike. He got me. Dropping the bat out of shock, he picks it up and slugs me over the head. Yeah, this is already going off to a great start. My God, you're greasy. I'm in and out of consciousness as I feel myself getting dragged by the waist. I'm back in the hall. Damn, I'm still bleeding from where he stabbed me. I don't know what he's going to do to me. As we get closer to what I assume to be his room, a voice calls out. Dad? What's going on? Shit. He picks up the pace as he makes his way over to Natsuki's room. He drops me to the floor as he barges in, practically throwing the door open. I'm able to catch a glimpse of everything from the opening in the door. Oh, hey, Nat, listen, there's no time to explain. We have to leave right now because we'll be, going on vacation for a while. I've got no clue when we'll be coming back, either. What? Why? I still have school tomorrow. Don't worry about that. I've got it all figured out. So pack up your bags, Nat, because, we're going on vacation right now to Disneyland! But what about the noise I heard downstairs? Disneyland! Or, as I sometimes also say it, Disneyland! I can't hang on anymore. As I look away from Natsuki's room, I see that same shadow figure again, peering at me with piercing crimson eyes. As he moves closer to me with his hand out, I feel myself fade away. June 3rd, 2019, so... Yeah, he died! I spring up from the ground, gasping for breath. What the hell was all that? I look at my shirt. There's no signs of blood anywhere. I don't feel like I have any stab wounds either. I look at my watch. The day hasn't changed. Meanwhile, the time looks like it was rewound to just before I broke into the house earlier. Is this like some kind of return by death? So it seems like the loop resets to this point if I die at any point. That's good to know, I guess. I still have no idea what the hell I've gotten myself into, but there is one thing I do know. I don't want to mess with Natsuki's dad in a direct confrontation. I pick myself back up and feel around in my pockets. The lock and key are still here, as well as a small piece of paper. I took it out and look it over. The business card is still here. Well, it won't do me any good now, but I'll keep it. I put it back in my pocket and proceed into the house once again. Okay, let's review. What do I know? Natsuki's dad is the killer. He's also batshit crazy and willing to kill me on sight. I'd prefer to avoid confronting him, but then again, just in case, I need to have something to defend myself with. I waste no time grabbing a kitchen knife, I waste no time grabbing a knife from the dirty dishes, which is in the kitchen, but I don't care if it's got crusty old food on it. I'm going to use it to stab that old bastard on sight if worse comes to worse. I'm not going to waste any time in this loop. I'm heading straight for the room he came out of to see if there's anything I can do. I can probably get the jump on him there if I have to now that I have the element of surprise on my side. I kind of suspected this was like an office or bedroom of some sort, but it seems to be like a mix of both. Yeah, because we have the bed, we have a desk here, and use your imagination again. I look over to the other side of the room, and there, fast asleep in a chair, is the bastard himself. I slowly take a few steps forward, making sure I don't get too close. From here, he almost looks harmless. I know he's anything but harmless, considering he's not only going to kill his daughter, but he'll try to kill me if I screw up again. Okay, you've made it this far, Daniel. Think. I look around the room for anything that might be useful. I spot the bat right on the side of the doorway. I see some kind of locked box that seems large enough to store the gun he had. What if I... No! I'm not here to kill anyone. What am I supposed to do, though? I can't kill a person in cold blood like that, even if I know what he's planning. He technically hasn't even done anything yet. If I could just stop him from killing Natsuki, then maybe none of this will happen. That's when I see a bottle of sleeping pills on the nightstand. I take it in my hand to inspect it. I glance over the directions and see the pills haven't expired yet. Maybe. I walk over to Kaido's sleeping body with the bottle open. I then force a couple of pills into his mouth. He can't kill Natsuki if he's too busy sleeping. You see? Well, it's like he's trying to logic this out, like, yeah, you can't kill her if you're too busy being fast asleep. If fate says Natsuki is going to die, then I'm just going to give fate the middle finger. I can't stop there, though. No, I have to make sure nothing else can go wrong. With the bottle still in my hand, I make my way over to Natsuki's room. I take a couple of pills in my hand and shove them down her mouth as well. Okay, according to the directions, that ought to do it. At least until the morning comes. With that taken care of, I look around the room again. That's when I notice her diary in the same spot I saw it the last time. I never finished reading it before, considering her psycho father came in here before I found anything useful. As much as I don't want to, I nab the diary and put it under my arm. I'm hoping this thing with the sleeping pills will work, but you never know. Sorry, Natsuki, but if this plan still doesn't work for whatever reason, I'm gonna need something to fall back on. I casually made my way out of the house after doing what I felt had to be done. I tossed the knife in the garbage while I was at it, as to not look suspicious. Well, more suspicious than I already do, walking around at night with a pink book in my arms. I spotted Jorichiro on his usual walk as I did before, but I made sure to stay out of sight. Hopefully this will all be over soon. Maybe what I did sounds kinda stupid, but what the hell else am I supposed to do? I fish out the house keys from my pocket and quietly unlock the door. Then I gently open the door and set foot inside. Before going to my room, I make a slight detour. There's an old trunk in the basement that I think the lock will work on. I spot in the corner, hidden in the back. And yep, the return of the freaky dungeon basement thing. I spot it, and sure enough, it's as empty as my old man's head. Or alternatively, it's also empty like my soul. I don't know why Mom kept this old thing, but I'm not going to question it. Now it has a purpose to serve. I toss in the business card and place the diary inside. I shut the trunk and lock it back up. There, just in case I need them. Mom was asleep, as per usual, so there's no need to worry about explaining anything. It would make a hell of a story, though. How I got into a fight with some crazy guy, and then how I put him and his daughter to sleep with sleeping pills. I'm not exactly proud of all that, not going to lie. I can only hope things will work out in the end. June 4th. So far, everything seems normal. Natsuki isn't going to be at school today, but that's okay. She's most likely still sleeping, if I'm going off the directions on the bottle. Now that I think about it, she might actually miss the first couple of classes. Yeah, I didn't think that through, but it's a small price to pay to make sure she doesn't die. Well, maybe some mind-numbing school work can take my mind off everything, and it'll all just be some stupid memory. Mahonika's dead! Okay, no. As I continue my way, I notice a plume of smoke off in the distance. That's where the school is. As I pick up the pace a little, some of the residents come out of their houses to observe the plume of smoke. As I'm running, I see a number of students fleeing in the opposite direction. What the hell? Hey, what's going on? There's a fire at the school! It just happened out of nowhere! What? I don't know about you, but I'd stay the hell away! Before I can say anything else, the girl continues running. Normally I wouldn't give a damn about the school, but something pops into my mind. Someone, actually. Mio! I start running to the school, slinking my way through all the panicked students. Mio usually goes to school early and hangs around the classroom at least 15 minutes before class starts. I just hope that being a prudent student hasn't gotten her killed. Yup. There it is. There's the raging inferno. It's exactly as that girl said. A portion of the school is engulfed in flames. Not just any portion, either. That's where my homeroom is. Damn it! I fight my way inside, fighting against the surge of students trying to escape. A lot of them urge me to turn back. Trust me, I'd love to do that. I really would. I can't, though. I have to see if... Sometimes I worry about Mio. She's a very sweet girl, but there are times when I find myself stepping in if someone gives her a hard time. It makes me worry about her and what'll happen if I'm not there. Well, it might not mean much, but I can help look out for her if you'd like. What's so funny? Oh, nothing, it's just... I can't say I'm surprised. Honestly, Daniel, I can't help but feel you're too... Oops. Honestly, Daniel, I can't help but feel you're too much of a nice person for your own good as well. Admittedly, I would be a lot less anxious if you were looking out for her. Thank you. Huh. Well, it's not a problem at all. We might not talk a lot, but I'd at least consider her a friend. I'm sure she would appreciate that. Very well, then. You promise? I promise. I'm not going to abandon her. Not after that promise I made to Kodanoa. Not if I can help it. Eventually I make my way to the classroom and... Eventually I make my way to the classroom. I kick the door down. I'm horrified by the sight in front of me. So many bodies on the floor. I can barely recognize anyone. The only one I can even pinpoint is the teacher. I can't be here. No! It's just too much. I can't. I run. I run as fast as my legs can carry me out of there. I don't want to be here now. Mio, I'm sorry. As I catch my breath, I hear someone behind me. As I turn around, I'm met with the blunt force of a metal bat to the face. Slam! Really, Daniel? Did you already forget what we talked about? The fuck? Amy? Did you forget why you were here in the first place? Honestly, you can be so dense sometimes. I told you what would happen if you went against the rules of the ritual, didn't I? You seriously are a difficult man. Why are you doing this? I'm simply enforcing the will of Tyrankos. You didn't follow the rules. Now you have to be punished. Nat has to live, Daniel. There's no way around it. Cramming a few sleeping pills down her throat isn't going to solve the problem. Do you understand me? How do you know? For her to live, a proper exchange has to take place. There has to be balance. A soul for a soul. I don't care if you, me, her father, or any random person has to die in the process. Are we on the same page now? One life must be extinguished for another to go on. There is no other way around it. Now, go back and get it right next time, would you? Just the sight of you right now is making me sick with anger. You think you can get away with this, Daniel? I'm not going to let things end this way. This is completely unforgivable and unacceptable. Tell me, do you believe in fate, Daniel? Well, you better start believing if you already don't. Because right now, you're fighting against fate itself. Now then, just to make sure we understand each other. As I'm getting up, I see Amy reaching for something. My eyes widen as she takes out the familiar bracelets I used to start this nonsense. What? Amy, wait! Tyrankos, I've come to bargain. 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 Stop that! What are you trying to pull? Shut up and bleed. She introduces my face to her bat, sending me tumbling to the ground. The hell is wrong with you? I hereby discharge you from duty. With that, she introduced my face to her bat one last time. Everything else fades away. Yeah, and I guess if it wasn't obvious, we do kind of pay tribute to some of the past endings, like, well, okay, I quoted the Raging Inferno earlier, but that's obviously not here, but then Amy says, like, how this is unforgivable and unacceptable somewhere, which was one of the other endings, and then finally the discharged from duty ending from the original. So, at least we do kind of pay tribute to those endings in this manner, because, well, obviously, if it wasn't obvious, we don't have the multiple endings thing going on here. Instead, we have multiple time loops, each one paying tribute to one of those original endings, so that's kind of how it worked out. I wake up. Wait, where am I? What's going on here? Daniel. What? Who's there? I desperately look around to try and find whoever said that. Nothing. I can't see anything. It feels like I'm in some kind of empty void. There's nothing but darkness everywhere I look. Just then, I feel a cold chill run down my spine. Welcome, Daniel. I have summoned you here for a purpose. Where are you? Face me already! How amusing. Ugh! Who are you? I am called by many names, but I will make it simple for you. I am Tyrankos. You? You're the one causing this bullshit. You're the one causing all this bullshit, aren't you? You are partially correct. I have done nothing of the sort. Everything that's transpired has done so by your own hand. I merely intervened once you decided to break some rules. You've got some nerve! You set my classroom on fire! You killed Mio and a ton of innocent people! Would you have preferred if I set your home on fire and forced your mother to meet a similar fate. Don't you dare! I can feel my blood boiling. If this son of a bitch even tries to hurt my mom... And, well, if you play the original game, the Raging Inferno ending basically was that Taranko sets his house on fire with the mom still inside. That obviously didn't translate over to this version. So, again, we are referencing that. Where are you? Where are you? If you lay even a finger on her, I'll beat the living crap out of you like I did to Jorichiro. You exaggerate. The point is that I'm not going to sit around here and let you get away with this. No. The point is that you are a fool. You're lucky I can't find you right now. On the contrary, in this space, I am everywhere. You see, Daniel, in this space, you cannot destroy me, for I am nothing. You're full of it. I'm not scared of you. Then you are either a madman, or braver than most who have encountered me. What do you want, Tarankos? I want what anyone else does, Daniel. To live a peaceful life in a perfect world full of strife and grief. Oh, really? Torturing me seems to be a pretty messed up way of living a peaceful life, wouldn't you say? I can make this experience as hellish or blissful as you wish, Daniel. That all depends on you, however. You had one job, Daniel, and that was to follow the rules of the rituals set out for you. You couldn't even do that. What rules? Amy hardly told me anything when I started this whole thing. I can see into your soul, Daniel. You just love hearing yourself talk, don't you? What are you on about now? Tell me, Daniel. Just why did you willingly accept this task to save someone you barely even know? After all, you said so yourself, right? How she apparently means nothing to you. You. Okay. So we've had and, I forgot the other one, now we have you. I'm at a loss for words. To be honest, I'm not even sure why I did this in the first place. Even if Amy was controlling me for that moment, I still could have walked away any time after she stopped. Before I can say anything, a vision of Kodonoha appears before me. Kodo! I run toward her, but then she vanishes. She is gone. There was nothing you could do to prevent her death. Never to be. Never with you. Taken from you. Yet, another innocent young woman is found dead, and you are presented with the opportunity to save her. Fascinating how you leapt at that chance. Curious, is it not? Emotions are truly a fickle thing. You feel guilt. You feel helplessness. You may try to hide your true feelings from those around you. You may even lie to yourself. But you cannot hide your emotions from me. Fine. So what if I still hate myself for not being able to help Kodonoha? It may be too late for her, but not for this young woman. All you have to do is make a proper exchange to save her soul. One life must perish for another to go on through this process. And nothing! You see, Daniel, so long as you are bound by this spell, you belong to me. Should you betray or go against my will again, I can make your life very unpleasant. I trust you will make the correct decision in time. Because I am in a generous mood, I will give you another chance. Do not fail me again. I will not extend the same charitable attitude towards you a second time. Succeed, and her life will be spared. Are you saying I have to kill someone? But I can't. I think back to Kotonoa. I think back to Natsuki. She didn't stand a chance when her father forced her to die with him. Were things seriously that bad in her life for things to end like that? And again, were things so bad in Koto's life that she ended up... Fucking hell! Is that why Natsuki asked me that loaded question? Kotonoa never told me anything, and she was someone very close to me. Natsuki, on the other hand, I think back to what Amy told me before. Well, Nat was the kind of girl who wouldn't ask for help directly, even if she wanted it. So then, was Natsuki really asking me for help in her own roundabout way? Is that why? I'm sorry, Koto. I'm so sorry. I collapsed, overwhelmed with guilt and sadness. It's ironic. Natsuki asked a stranger who didn't mean anything to her for help, and yet Kotonoa never went to me despite everything we'd been through. The more I think about it, though, the more it sort of starts to make sense. Natsuki didn't know who to turn to, most likely because anyone close to her would have judged or looked down on her. I was the perfect person, since it didn't matter what I thought. Kotonoa, was that why you never told me those thoughts were in your head? Did you figure I'd think differently about you if you told me what was going on? You confided in me about that stalker situation so long ago, but not about those thoughts about ending your life. I thought we trusted each other. We made that promise. Hey, do you think I'd be better off dead? That loaded question still rings in my mind. I'm dragged out of my thoughts when I hear footsteps in the distance. Is it Chirankos? I wipe my tears away and get back up. I spot a lone figure in the distance. Not sure who they are, but I rush over to them. That's when I come face to face with her. Hey, Natsuki! Funny meeting you here, isn't it? My mind goes completely blank before I start spouting whatever pops up first in my emotionally racked brain. Please don't die, Natsuki. Please don't end up like her. Huh. I wonder why I said whatever I did to you back then. Maybe it really was because I wanted you to help me. You're on the right track, though. I didn't want to tell anyone else, and I didn't want them knowing something so personal. Out of all the people in the world I could have gone to, I chose you, the random guy who sits in front of me in class. Man, how desperate was I to go with you? What are you saying? Honestly, I didn't think you'd even try to do anything, let alone care. Maybe she was right about you after all. Wait, who was right about me? You're not making any sense here. There's a pause as Natsuki sniffles to herself, trying to keep her nerve and resume talking to me. Clearly, though, she wasn't doing too much of a good job.
You know what's really strange, though? I literally have no future beyond that night. I don't even get to wish Amy a happy birthday tomorrow. This has all just been some messed up loop, and I don't know how long it's been going on for. Hell if I know. I mean, I can't even break out of it and change things. Hell, I don't even know what to do anymore. I feel like I'm just some damn wind-up doll forced to do whatever fate tells me to. Tells me to do.
Fate. Amy said I had to fight against fate.
Amy always did say she was a strong believer in fate. I swear, now she's got me believing in it too. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. By the time I realize what's going on, I'm already awake, and then the morning comes. It's the start of the same damn day, and I don't even remember anything to boot. I'll think of something. I'm not going to let this happen again. Not to you or anyone. Never again. You're such an idiot, Daniel.
Hey!
You beautiful fool. I have to go now. We'll see each other soon. We'll see each other soon. I know we will. Thank you again. Thank you for caring about me. It really means a lot.
Natsuki turns away from me, looking out into the void. I reach out for her, begging her to come back, but it's pointless. In just a few seconds, she vanishes without a trace. I fall to the ground after losing my balance. I can feel my tears returning as I angrily pound my fist into the ground. Damn it!
Goodbye for now, Daniel.
No! No! I have to save you! I can't let you die! I won't fail you! Not like I failed Kodanoa! You hear me? I start crying uncontrollably as I hang my head down in shame. A soul for a soul. Make the right decision, Daniel, and her life will be spared. June 3rd, 2019. Internally, we refer to this as loop 4, but this is technically like loop 5. Mainly because the other two loops were well, they were both kind of short, so we just kind of lumped them together, and, you know, we just kind of ran with it at that point. I wake up to find myself on the ground, my head spinning from the pavement as I'm gasping for breath. My head springing up from the pavement as I'm gasping for breath. As I rub my eyes, I feel tears in them. Was I crying? That's when I remember. I saw Natsuki. I was in some kind of empty void where I also met him. I think back to what he said, as well as whatever Amy was screaming at me as she tried to bludgeon me to death with that random bat. A soul for a soul. Do I seriously need to kill someone to make this happen? I know I beat the living shit out of Jurichiro, but that's just because he's an annoying little shithead and a waste of oxygen. If anything, I'd be doing the world a favor taking him out of the picture, but I gulp as I get to my feet and proceed to walk into the house, as I have done so many times already. I take a seat at the table, making sure I don't knock over any empty beer bottles. Again, imagination. I'd rather not wake up Natsuki or her psycho killer father. I run my hands through my hair. I can't do this. I can't! What the hell am I even supposed to do here? I look up at the ceiling in frustration. Too bad the answer won't just descend from the sky like some kind of angel from above. Yeah, because we're not playing that mod. And thank God we aren't, because... Yeah. I seriously should go back and kind of make an addendum to that Let's Play and be like, yeah, I was actually just holding back on my feelings the whole time, like, just because I didn't want to make the author feel bad. But yeah. No, that's silly talk. You're right, it is silly talk. Then again, I'm stuck in some kind of time loop after going through a ritual for some interdimensional being who sounds like Satan. At this point, anything is possible. As I lower my head back down, my eyes land on the outdated phone. I'm not sure why, but I get up and walk over to it. It's probably not the best idea to make a phone call from the homeowner's phone after you just broke in, but there's something I need to know for sure. It was Amy's harebrained scheme in the first place, so what if... Even if she hasn't technically done anything yet, she'd still at least believe me if I mentioned Tyrankos to her since she's so obsessed with him. I don't know her number though. Ugh. Why would I have her number anyway? It's not like we ever spoke on a regular basis, nor would I ever want to, given how much of a psycho chick she is. That's when I look over at the address book. She went on and on about how they're such great friends, so maybe Natsuki has her number in there. It's worth a shot. I thumb through the pages and sure enough, I find what I'm looking for. Amy Shido. Thank you, outdated address book. And with that, I place a phone call to Amy from Natsuki's home phone. Yeah, this was part of the original game from, way back when. However, we did something slightly different. Talk about a convoluted way of making a phone call. It rings for a while, and I'm almost about to hang up after realizing how stupid this idea was. That is, until I hear a familiar voice on the other end. There she is!
Hello?
Hey, Amy.
Daniel? What are you doing calling me? You're not trying to come on to me in the middle of the night, are you?
What the No, you pervert! Why would I ever call you unless it was important?
Whatever, you beast. You do realize how late it is, don't you? Now that I'm looking at it, why does the caller ID say this is Nat's house? Can you tell me what's going on?
Because I'm calling you from Nat's house. There's a momentary silence on the other end before she speaks again.
You beast! I see what you're doing! You're so obsessed with Natsuki that you broke into her house to have your way with her!
Did you take your stupid pills before bed? She knows what she did! She's just smiling that whole time like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Shut up and listen to me! I don't know how to explain it, but I'm actually from the future. Yep, she just took a moment there. Natsuki is going to die tonight, and after I speak with you tomorrow, I'm going to make some kind of bargain with Tyrankos.
Natsuki's going to die? Are you telling the truth?
Do you think I would have broken into Natsuki's house just to fail saving her 3 times already? I know it sounds crazy, but I swear that I am. Like I said, you were the one who sent me back into the past and told me about Tyrankos in the first place. This is like my fourth or fifth attempt at trying to save her. Yeah, I think this is like the 5th attempt. Yeah, it is the 5th attempt. Because, yeah, like I said, Loops 3, we kind of combined those other 2. Because, yeah. I even got to speak to Tyrankos after you bludgeoned me to death for messing up.
I did what?
Yeah, and you're lucky I don't go over there and teach you some manners.
Gosh, Daniel, I didn't realize you liked to be so rough. This is not the time for you to be some psycho pervert, you freak!
Honestly, after going through that, I think I could definitely use a good laugh about now.
Natsuki's dad is going to wake up and kill her at any moment now. Natsuki's dad is going to wake up and kill her any moment now. Unless, of course, he decides to kill me first. Which he's already done, by the way. Kaido Sairenchi. I knew there was something wrong with that man. It's a shame fate decided to make dear Nat be his daughter. Do you know how he's going to kill her? He's going to force her into some messed up double suicide, only for him to chicken out at the last minute. Look, you and Tarankos told me an exchange has to be made for this thing to work. A soul for a soul. There's another moment of silence on the end. This is all making me feel nauseous. Amy? You bargained with Tarankos, correct? Yes, that's what I've been saying this whole time. With this ritual, there does indeed have to be an exchange. When you bargain with Tarankos to save a life, another must be extinguished in its place. No. Don't tell me. You can't possibly mean... Yes. In order for her life to go on, someone else must die as a result of your actions. No, I can't. I don't want to kill anyone. Relax, Daniel. If I die today, then that means Nat's life will be saved, and tomorrow will come for her. What? No, wait, there has to be another way! There isn't another way. The will of Tarankos is absolute. Because you intervened by letting me know, I can die a martyr for my friend, and the ritual will have succeeded. Okay, look, I know I called you a psycho and a pervert, but that doesn't mean I want you to die instead. I know it's your birthday tomorrow, and also, come on! I don't want anyone to die! Can you at least tell me more about the so-called rules about this ritual?
Let me see. Tell me more about the so-called rules for this ritual?
There has to be another way, there has to be! I already told you, there is no other way. Alright. I understand everything loud and clear. Are you listening to me? Stop! Whatever you're thinking, or whatever you're about to do, just stop everything! I'll go over there. We can talk this through. There's no point in dragging this out any longer, Daniel. Thank you for telling me the truth about Natsuki's death. With that, I can finally do something to save her. Thank you, Daniel. Listen, Goodbye. Amy, no! Come back! I don't want...
The line goes dead. What was Amy going to say there? Well, if you did play Forlorn Heart, you might know what she might have... Or, you might have an idea of what she was about to say. Which just makes this even more weird, especially considering she beat him to death with a bat. Anyway. I can't believe what I've done. So then, the both of them really weren't lying. It's like some fucked up game of economics. Or, it's like some really fucked up game of economics. There has to be some kind of exchange between souls like their currency on some fucked up stock market. No matter what I do, someone has to die on this day. I know Amy was never really my friend. I know I never spoke to Amy and thought she was some kind of perverted freak, but I didn't want her to die. I don't even know where she lives, damn it! Slamming the phone back down, I storm out of the house, hoping to avoid detection. Hell, even if I did know where she lived, who's to say I'd even make it there in time to stop her? I knew where Kodanoa lived, and I obviously couldn't help her. I'd just be wasting my time. I try to run, but my legs feel very weak. I drop to my knees. My hands are very shaky as I hold them out in front of me.
can feel my heart racing and my lungs working overtime as I try to calm myself down. I try to get up, only to stumble back down again. What kind of fucked up ritual is this? What was it that Yuri said again? Wait, Yuri! I prop myself up against the wall, trying my best to calm down. Yuri said she would still be working on trying to find an answer to this mess, despite the time loop resetting everything. Maybe I should check on her. Once I feel that I'm able to stand on my feet, I head over to Yuri's house. I more or less remember the way, considering hers and Natsuki's houses are in the same area. There we go. I walk up to the door and pound on it, only to stop myself after thinking back to what happened the last time I saw her and Mio. The police. What did they... I'm caught off guard when the door opens. Daniel, what are you doing here? First, let me check something. Do you remember what I said about Amy? Oh, yes, of course I do, Daniel. Okay, just checking to see if that magic metal ring or whatever actually works or not. Yes, I can assure you that I wasn't making it up. At this point, I wish you and Amy were making this whole thing up. Why? What happened? Come inside and tell me. She ushered me inside and I took my place on the couch. I met him, Yuri. Who? I met Tarankos. When I tried to bend the rules, he burned down the school and Mio was... Mio? Mio wasn't in the classroom when that happened. What? Yes. I am aware about the fire. Mio told me so herself since I've secluded myself to the Mio told me so herself since I've secluded myself. Oh. Okay, well, I guess... Mio told me herself since I've been secluded to this house. To the house this entire time. Mio told me so herself since I've been secluded to the house this whole time. Apparently she needed to go to the bathroom when there was a loud explosion. When she went out to see what happened, that's when she saw that your homeroom class was set ablaze. She fled along with the other students trying to get away. She's... alive? My voice cracks as I bury my face in my hands. I feel tears of relief streaming down my face. Yes. She only just narrowly escaped with her life in the nick of time. Thank God. Going back to what you said before, though. You met Tarankos? Yeah. I try to regain my composure as I look Yuri in the eyes. I saw the fire. I saw the classroom. I saw the bodies. So I ran out of there. That's when I ran to Amy and that psychotic bitch beat me to death with a bat. My goodness. She's even more deranged than I thought. That's not all. Before the loop reset itself, I was in the middle of nowhere with darkness all around me. That's when I heard his voice. He told me he killed Mio, and... That's when it hit me. That son of a bitch told me he killed Mio! Then he told me if I didn't do what he wanted, he'd burn down my house with my mom in it! Tarankos is known to say whatever he must in order to get what he wants. What he wants? Apparently all he wants is to live in a perfect world, but I don't see how this is going to accomplish that. I wish I knew. I have never met him or heard his voice, but my grandmother, aunt, and mother have known him all their lives. That goes for me as well as Cousin Kotonoa. He said that I belong to him. He said that I have to do what he wants. He also told me to fulfill the ritual, I had to make an exchange. Amy was shouting about an exchange too when she was going psycho on me. Oh dear. I could have sworn I read something like that in one of these books, but I was hoping I was wrong.
What did it say?
Well, sadly, some pages were torn out of the book, but it mentioned something about a curse you place on someone with a wish in their heart. It's oddly similar to another ritual disguised as a game mentioned in the book, but that one is nothing but lies and deception.
Lies and deception. And so this was actually going to be a reference to a mod that we were going to work on. In fact, my former coder took it upon himself to advertise said mod in the information section of Night Nurse without my permission. And yeah, he was basically here saying how, oh yeah, this is going to be the next entry after Night Nurse, and the next secret ending is going to be much harder to obtain. And I was here I think I've mentioned it in the Forlorn Heart videos, but he was trying to have me write the mod. It was his idea, but he wanted me to try to write it. He gave me this premise here. He also gave me some other bits of information, but otherwise there wasn't much of a direction. At least I felt like the story wasn't really going anywhere. What was the point of all this? And then of course, well, I gave him what I had, which I wasn't very happy with because I just felt like I was writing a bunch of nonsense. He liked some of it, but then he just told me I hate this, do it over. And I'm just ugh. And I mean, that was kind of where things between him and I started to, go sour. So yeah, either way, that mod is cancelled now. I don't think we are ever going to try touching on that idea again, and if we do, well, it's definitely going to be, well, a much different take. And it's definitely going to be something that has some kind of meaning to it.
They're only meant to appease Tarankos and Zaretha with their twisted desires.
So he's even more fucked up than I already thought he was.
For lack of a better way to put it, precisely. A soul for a soul. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. They both said the same thing. In order for someone to die... oh god. Yes, well... No, I had it in reverse. In order for someone to survive, another person must die. I couldn't do it, Yuri. I know I almost beat the shit out of Joichiro, but that was on accident. I didn't want to go out there and intentionally kill someone for no reason. I just can't. I'm trembling again, and my voice starts cracking as I feel tears in my eyes again. Maybe get rid of this again. So, trembling... Actually, I guess either or would make sense. Either this one or that one. Meh. I'm surprised when Yuri sits beside me and puts her arms around me.
I know, Daniel. You're a good person. Time just hasn't been very kind to you. You've just had to experience a lot of terrible things and faced many hardships. You've had a difficult life, but even still, you're every bit of the sweet, gentle soul Kotonoa used to make you out to be. If only she could be here right now. She almost always knew what to say in times like these.
I miss her.
I know. I miss her too. I know she wouldn't want to see you suffering like this. And why did she?
That's when I hear Yuri trying to stifle her sobs, but failing miserably.
I wish I knew, Daniel. I had no idea things were that bad for her to do that. You know how she was, though. As much of a wonderful person she was stubborn at times. In fact, I feel as though she wouldn't ask for help directly, even if she needed it. Yes, I could have said it better myself. It seems like Natsuki wasn't the only one too sweet for her own good then, or however Amy put it. Natsuki?
Yuri pulls away from me, having calmed down a little bit from before.
Now that I think about it, I can see some similarities between the both of them. I suppose it's no wonder they got along so well. Wait, they knew each other? Not to the point of being best friends, but I did see Kotonoha talking to her on occasion back then. I never really thought much of it at the time, but from what I do know about Natsuki, I think it all makes some sense now.
I wipe away the last of my tears as I sit back up on the couch.
Back on topic, though. So you're aware of the soul-for-a-soul exchange. What did you make of it? What did you make of that exactly? I mean, in the sense of whose life was it that needed to be extinguished?
Well, I kind of figured that since her father is the one that kills her, he was the one that needed to die.
That is a logical conclusion, although something doesn't feel right. I feel as though we're missing something here, and those torn pages had to have been the key. Does that mean...
Like I said, I couldn't do it in the end. So the old bastard is alive and well, as much as I hate to admit it. I don't know who's more crazy between him or Amy. Oh, damn it, Amy.
What about Amy? Did she do something?
Yes. I know this is going to sound like some bad Florida man joke, but when I broke into Natsuki's house, I called Amy.
Huh?
I didn't know what else to do, okay? You do some stupid shit when you're under pressure, you know?
My apologies. Please continue.
Anyway, I fessed up to her that I was from the future and I knew about the ritual. I even told her about how I met Tyrankos and the whole soul-for-a-soul thing.
How did she respond?
That's the messed up part. She was silent for a moment, asking me to repeat myself. Then she straight up tells me she's going to die as a martyr to save Natsuki's life. Yuri's eyes widen in shock, and she falls back into the couch a little. I tried telling her to stop, but she wouldn't listen to me.
No, Daniel. You're not the one at fault here. Remember, there's a good chance she's a descendant of the Dark Interlopers.
Oh god. The way I said the Dark Interlopers.
Remember, there's a good chance she... there's a good chance he...
God dang it. The H sounds here.
Remember, there's a good chance she's a descendant of the Dark Interlopers as I am. Unlike me, however, her ancestors are most likely among those who remained completely loyal to Tyrankos. Those who would be willing to do anything to satisfy him. I didn't think she would be that delusional as to take her own life.
Well, apparently she is. She hung up on me after that and I stormed out of the house. I don't have a clue where she lives, so I couldn't even stop her. Or I couldn't even try to stop her.
Even if you did, Daniel, I have the feeling she still wouldn't listen to reason. I'm honestly at a loss for words right now, but not because I'm feeling a sense of grief or sadness over her death. If anything, I'm just... I'm just utterly stunned she would even go to such lengths as to please Tarankos. Utterly disgusting. There's no use crying over her now, Daniel. My suspicions proved to be correct in believing Amy was a lost cause. There was nothing else you could have done. After all, didn't you say that before this, she killed you?
Yeah, and I still haven't forgiven her for that. That doesn't mean I wanted her to die, though.
I know. I'm not blaming you. All I'm saying is that no matter what you did, Amy would have done anything if it meant carrying out the will of Tarankos. Even if it was something awful or criminally wrong, she wouldn't have cared. If anything, she most likely saw herself as some sort of divine agent of his.
Tarankos isn't some kind of god, though, is he?
Honestly, I'm not even sure. Details on where he came from and his origins are very unclear outside of what details he did share with his followers. As such, they all blindly worshipped him as a god, given his otherworldly powers and knowledge of the universe.
I guess that makes sense. Damn, hearing that voice of his just... it felt so chilling and sinister. The whole time he was giving off some murderous vibes.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Well, for the time being, there isn't much else we can do aside from trying to play things by ear for tomorrow.
So does that mean you're coming... okay, question mark. So does that mean you're coming back to school?
Yes. I'm still not convinced the conditions for the curse have been satisfied, if there even are any set conditions. I want to continue monitoring things as best as I can, so make sure you're at school tomorrow as well.
Alright. I got off the couch and Yuri walks me over to the door. Oh, by the way...
Yes?
What happened with the cops at the door?
Oh, that. Yes, I'm surprised you remember that, considering you were practically out cold by then. Well...
But at the okay, well, by the time...
Well, by the time I was about to open the door, I didn't even have to talk to any of the police officers because the world just collapsed and fell into darkness. I'm not even sure how best to describe it. The next thing I knew, I found myself back here in my living room, cleaning up, just as I was doing the previous night. I looked at the clock and my calendar, and sure enough, time had rewound itself. I got a call from you as well, since she seemed so confused and shaken about the experience. So lucky for all of us, we didn't have to deal with any police. I like to hope we won't have to in the future.
Yeah. I told you it was an accident.
I know it was, Daniel. I just hope you can think your actions through a little better.
I'm trying. What?
I don't know who's more stubborn between you or Kodanoa.
The funny lady has spoken. Good night, Yuri.
Good night, Daniel.
Good night, funny lady. With that, I make my way back home and sneak inside. Mom is already fast asleep, Mom is already asleep as per usual. Thankfully, she's safe and sound, and that sociopath Tarankos hasn't done anything to her. As I get in bed, I try my best to relax, but I can't. I don't think I'm going to get much sleep tonight with how much is going on. Dang it. I don't think I'm going to get much sleep tonight with how much is on my mind right now. That's what I'm trying to say. Although I didn't do it myself, I feel like I have Amy's blood on my hands. Not to mention, I wasn't sure if I was seriously going to kill that old bastard Kaido or not. I don't know what will be waiting for me at school in the morning this time around,
or if Amy's sacrifice will satisfy the conditions for the curse. There's so many things I don't know, and it's driving me insane. What did I do to deserve getting mixed in with all of this shit? That's when I remembered Yuri's words. You're a good person. Time just hasn't been very kind to you. You've just had to experience a lot of terrible things, that's all. You've had such a difficult life, but even still, you're still every bit of a sweet, gentle soul as Kotonoa used to make you out to be.
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, if it isn't obvious, I can't exactly repeat it, like, the same, like, tone and everything every single time. But, well, likewise, I'm also trying.
Seems like no matter what I do, it feels like I just got the bad end of a messed up deal somewhere. Or it feels like I just got the bad end of some messed up deal somewhere. I never wanted any of this. Of course, I never wanted anything to happen to Kotonoa either. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Eventually, I start to doze off. Okay, so I think I am going to stop it here for right now, because I know what's coming up, and, well, there's going to be a lot to take in here, so, yeah. Next time, well, I guess MC is going to return to school, and whether or not the ritual worked, I guess we shall see. I mean, I know what's going to happen, but obviously, I'm just playing along because why not? I don't want to spoil the story. And anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever else I do. Stay golden. Until later, folks.